Welcome to The Collective, where every conversation ignites a new perspective. Join us as we delve into the journeys of remarkable individuals, explore the art of growth, resilience, and the power of a shared mission as we strive to be better together. Hey everybody, welcome back to The Gold Mine. We have another fantastic show for you planned out today. I am very excited. We are doing photo contest, number 3, and I obviously I don't even have words, but while I don't have words, do the things like the show, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, do all that good stuff, get your emails whenever we go live, which is of course Wednesdays for the Gold Mine and Fridays for the Collective. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, and I do want to hear from y'all about the photos that we're going to be looking at. I want to hear your thoughts on it. I want to see your scores as well. So on that note, we're going to be talking about scores in a second, but if you have not yet, make sure you are signed up for the Reinforcement Loop. That is our weekly newsletter. It goes out every Sunday, and you get some information from the show as well as a little bit of brain candy to chew on. Dan C jumped in. Good morning, gentlemen. Good to see you. Satch in Motion. Good morning, team. Good to see you, buddy. We're going to be using the same judging criteria as we have in the previous photo contest. It consists of composition, technical skill, creativity and originality, relevance to the theme, artistic factor. They're all going to be scored out of 10 from each of us, and then we will pick the top 3 winners. We have 3 separate prize packs for the winners, the top 3 out of the group that we've selected here. We have a direct action prize pack coming from Randy Turner out east in Ottawa. We have a prize pack, the Endless Summer prize pack from Blackbird Industries. That's Jason on the West Coast. And Sean is offering up 2 bags of coffee. So, bam. I am
anywhere in Canada.
Anywhere in Canada. I like it.
Oh,
so,
and by the way, sorry. It's not like my third prize is a great prize, but I will say this. Whoever gets the prize is going to be drinking a coffee that no one in Canada is drinking currently. It is 2 Ethiopians. It is a Bombay Lot number 3 Land Races Natural, and it is Sedka Land Races Washed on a 50-50 blend. I think I'm the only one in Canada that has those 2 beans currently, and I know I'm the only one in Canada that is blending those 2 currently, and so you'll be the second person in Canada to drink that blend.
Bam. I kind of want to enter and select myself as third place because
I might send you one.
Sweet. We got JD0013 jumped in here, says, show me the landscapes. Satch in Motion says, wow, bags of Sean coffee. Okay, moving forward, I'm going to level up my lame photography game. Hello, I like it. I did see your photo of the bacon there. That was a great one with the reflection and all that.
Yeah. Good job, Satch, with his new phone. He's not just in the game, he's excited to frickin' get after it. So, yeah, maybe coffee for you next month.
Ooh, next month. We're going to have to figure out what we're going to do as a theme. Pat, we haven't even talked to you yet. How's life out west?
It's great. Yeah, super busy. Doing the film thing, trying to keep up with some photography, going to SEMA. Got my media pass for SEMA, so I'm super stoked to go and get some rad shots. Why?
Dude.
You need credentials, brah.
What is SEMA? For those that don't know, what is SEMA?
SEMA is the Special Equipment Manufacturers Association, I think is what it stands for. It's basically anything that's aftermarket for vehicles. It's this giant trade show in Vegas. If you've been to SHOT Show, it's like a SHOT Show, but cars. And it's like all the cool stuff, like, the nitrous to the Cerakote to the turbochargers to, whatever, wheels, tires, all that stuff, right? So it's a huge event. It's a massive event, and they have all kinds of cool stuff on the outside. Guys, they have like events of drifting and horsepower, duels and stuff like that, and then like just cars and cars and cars. It's very fun. It's everything from overlanders to hot rods.
So you're going to be down there for the drifting, I'm sure. But is there something else that you've really got your eye locked on that you kind of, maybe something that you've never shot before?
Not particularly this trip, other than there's a crew that I work with here in Vancouver. They're in Coquitlam. They're called Trick Factory Customs, and they make amazing stuff. Super talented dudes. Both fabricators got into the custom car and bike world, and they are debuting a very special car. And there's a very cool digital artist, but he's also a car designer. Ash Thorpe is going to be, he teamed up with them, and they've literally built the car for the show.
Fun.
Dang.
Yeah.
Nice.
That sounds awesome. I would love to go to that. I would not know really anything. I'm not a car guy. I would just be wandering around going, ooh, ah, ooh.
It is fun, though. It is
fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's get right into the contest. I want to go through, just quickly run down all 17 of the submissions. We can just kind of go through them, list off all the people that brought us in, and then we'll bring up our top 5, and then we can run it through there. So let's take a look at some of the landscapes. We got this one from Chris Gore. He posted this one. He was the first one in, actually, with this guy. So I'm very happy about that. Great shot of that bridge. Beautiful. Then we got Daniel Labonte. That's from the East Coast. He's out in Halifax somewhere, that kind of area, Newfoundland. We got Dave Curvin, dropped in this guy right here, beauty. We got another one from Dave Curvin, beautiful shot there. This one came from Isaac Miller down in the U.S. He might not get the coffee, but we'll see what happens. And then we got Jurgen Beck, threw this one down. Christian Wolowudnik, good little piece of added bonus. Christian Wolowudnik and I worked together at 1CR back in the day. And then we got Maggie Johnson dropping in this guy here. Let's see if I can make it. There we go. Then we got Nick Phelps. We got Ryan Corbett. We got Ryan Gardner. We got Sachin Lati jumped this one in. Sam Martell, which is a great, cool shot of that's not the Griffin. That's the Seahawk. I can't remember what the actual name of it is. Then we got Steve Piercy, Tyler Pelkey, and then we got another Tyler Pelkey, and a third one. Beautiful shots all around. Some great landscapes overall. Any first thoughts on any of those shots, Pat? Let's hit you first. What do you think?
Well, one, super stoked we got so many entries. Super glad that some of these shots they're very beautiful. Everybody did very well with this particular topic, and that's the thing that seems to be the gateway drug into photographies and veterans most of the time is landscape. So it's fun to do this one early on, because most of the time what happens is you go out hiking or you go out to these places and you see them, and then you either take a shot or you decide that you're going to buy a camera so that when you're out hiking, you can take the shots of these beautiful things. Because a lot of people don't even notice landscape. You know what I mean? They'll just walk. Like I once hiked with a person, they didn't even want to see the viewpoint. It was just for the exercise. And I'm like, what? Like, go on a treadmill. Like, why walk 98% of the way there and then not actually look at the viewpoint and take it in? Anyways, so these guys it's good to see this because this is what I think of when I think of the whole veteran photography space is like something that you probably were out doing and you wanted to keep that moment. And so yeah, it's a gateway drug, just so everyone's aware.
It totally is a gateway drug, and just the fact that we've been running this has changed my outlook on how I look at landscapes, because I've been taking a lot more photos of just landscapes. I've been watching the light hit the trees. I've been watching how the fog rolls in, things like that I had never thought of prior to this. So I just love it. Now I got a quick comment, and then Sean, I'm going to come to you. Spartan Warrior Wellness Center. Hey buddy, what's up? We just had him on the show. Hey boys, appreciate y'all. Keep doing great things you're doing. Keep doing the great things you're doing. There we go. Love it. Sean, any first thoughts on anything?
Yeah, I just want to build off of what Pat said, because he's right on the money. And I think it's kind of like life stacking, not skill stacking. And we've talked about skill stacking in the past, but if you only think of photography as skill stacking, then you're going to grab your camera or your phone like a tool, and then you're just going to carry it around like a tool. But if you think of skill stacking as life stacking, as Pat said, you're going to go out for a walk anyway, and you're heading for a viewpoint. You're going to get some fitness, you're going to get some fresh air, and you're going to take some photos. Now you're life stacking, because what photos does, as Chance said, is it makes you pay attention to the moment. So each step, you're looking for not the step, but what's in front of the step. And so I find it to be a great way to take separate aspects of your life, stack them together with a camera, and it enriches everything.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it is not only opened my eyes in terms of taking imagery, but it allows me, as you say, to take in that moment. So I'll drop my kids off in the morning at school, and I'll turn around and I'll see this beautiful tree with the leaves turning yellow, and the sun will be draped behind it, and I'll be able to just sit there and like take it in for a second and really appreciate that moment, and then carry on with my day. So life stacking is a great way to put that.
And something that Pat throws out a fair bit, and one of the kind of central themes of what we are trying to achieve is hashtag the decisive moment. And so the decisive moment never happens, man, unless you're looking for the decisive moment. And so you'll miss everything in life. You'll miss the leaves, you'll miss the wind, you'll miss the sun, you'll miss it all. You'll miss the waves, you'll miss everything, unless you're looking for them. And if you're looking for them, now you're living a decisive life. It's deciding to live a decisive life. That's what the camera is to me. So, food for thought, the decisive moment never occurs unless you are in a decision to look for it.
I dig it. I got a quick comment from Blackbird Industry. He jumped in here and said, Hilo is the CH-148 Cyclone. Thank you very much. Jason, great shot submitted this month. I agree. I was actually just bugging him because he sent me a beautiful shot the moment, like just before the show came in. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, he said, flying is cheating when it comes to landscape photography because you just get these great shots. But so I bugged him. He's going to submit something next month for sure. So any other thoughts before we start jumping into the actual top 5? Pat, you got anything?
Not yet. No, I'm really stoked to jump into these. I think it's going to be super rad. No.
All right.
I do have one thing. I shook my head, but I do have one thing to say, and it's this: that though there's a top 5, the only reason we have a top 5 is because we don't want to take the entire day to talk about these things. I'd love to talk about all 17, so we chose a top 5. But the top 5 any of those photos could have easily been swapped in. We could make a case for each one of the photos, but we had to select 5. So 5 have been selected. And if you aren't in the top, quote unquote, top 5, it's not because you aren't top. Every single one of those photos is top in my books. It's just that we have to grab 5, and we've grabbed 5. So, if you aren't in it, hydrate, BioSteel as you're crying, the electrolytes. Just rehydrate. It'll be no big deal.
Hydrate. It's a great what is the old thing from the military? Drink water, change your socks, and have some ibuprofen. You're good to go. You'll be able to move through anything. All right, let's dive right in here. First one of our top 5. This is in no particular order, so by any means, we're going to be judging them as we go along. Dave Curvin, dropping in this dude right here. I absolutely love this photo. I love the colors and the gradients and the way it goes across the board. But let's get your guys' initial thoughts. Pat, what are you thinking?
Yeah, no, it's great. I love the colors and everything is really good here. I mean, if I were to pull it apart a bit technically, and when you do a landscape photo, like, and it's so close to being it, you kind of want 2/3 of something. Like if you're going to go with the rule of thirds, it works very well a lot of times in your landscape shots. So you want, and this is pretty close to that rule of thirds, but it's kind of lacking anything in the foreground. So I might have actually swapped the 2/3 for me, but that's just me because you have a beautiful sky, right? And the foreground becomes a little bit mundane closer to me, but otherwise it's a great fun shot.
I dig it. Sean, thoughts?
I love this photo, and I'm in the same shoes as Pat. What I would do with this photo as a technical improvement for my eye, I would take the bottom third of the photo and completely remove that. I would slide the photo down so that the bottom of the photo starts at the grass. Then I'd have 2/3 of sky. What that would allow me to do then is take that beautiful orange-red reflection on the surface of the water. I would then amplify those colors, give them a little bit more vibrancy, give them a little bit more three-dimensional pop, and then probably a little bit of contrast and dehaze in the sky, maybe draw out some of those magnificent colors. It lacks a little bit of pop in this image, and so Pat's call on that crop is what I would do as well.
Some post-production is what it requires. I agree with you. I like if you were to cut it right at the grass, right at the base of the gradient in the color change of the water would really bring that out. It's tough too when you're doing sky shots as well, because if you have too much sky or if you get too much cloud, then it becomes a monotonous like block of color.
Well,
You know what I mean?
not really, because I saw this photo, and if you have been paying attention to the photos I've been putting up in my Instagram stories for the last couple of weeks, I saw this photo and I thought, man, I'm going to throw out some sky photos, some early morning sky photos for Dave Curvin, maybe get his gears churning. I've probably put out 30, 40 sky shots since then, and some of them are like poppers, man. And so you can do a lot with the sky. You can do a lot with just almost an empty sky, a bit of sunlight, and a single cloud. But you've got to, you can't just let it exist in a two-dimensional state. You've really got to play with it to make it a three-dimensional image.
I dig it. I dig it. Let's get some some weighting on these things. Composition, technical skill out of 10. What do you think, Pat?
Well, I'll give that one an 8. I'm torn between 7 and 8, only because, yeah, if you would have cropped this a bit differently, even if you would have cropped it and lost some of the side information, if you wanted it to keep it remained vertical, because you could have actually like horizontal shotted this. Don't be afraid to crop. I don't know how much detail is there, and I almost feel like going back to the one in the Google Drive just to be curious. Don't be afraid to crop your images. You can make, like, there's times where I've taken shots, you can literally get 3 images out of 1 if you just crop.
I dig it. I
actually selected 8 as well. Sean, what about yourself?
I'm an 8. I would have given it a 7, quite frankly, because there's a number of things that could be done in there technically to improve that shot. But I moved it from a 7 up to an 8, and here's why. Because I think that Dave made an effort to align this photo so that the horizon is aligned correctly on the horizontal rather than tilted, which we've seen in the past. And so, like, to me, it looks like Dave took effort post-processing to change a few things. So it's an 8 for me.
I like it. I like it. 8 it is. I want to hear what you guys think out there in the collective space. Tommy Guitar
jumped in. From Dave.
We haven't heard from Dave yet. I haven't seen him. So
oh boy.
He's going to get it later. Tommy Guitar jumped in here on the Instagram side, said good rule of thirds on that one. And Corbin Bobby was laughing about the BioSteel comments. That's always good. All right, then let's go on to creativity and, oh, look at that. Dave Curvin just joined in. Perfect timing. Creativity and originality. What do you guys think? Sean, out of 10, what would you put it at?
Well, it's not like it's overly creative. Because there's a lot of photos out here. People have got lots of photos like this. Other than Dave has gone that extra level deeper to actually be a bit creative with the light. So either he got super lucky with that light, or he planned to get that photo for that precise reflection. So I think I'm going with an 8 on this one.
8-1 for Sean. Pat, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going to remain at 8. Only because, like, yeah, there was a decisive moment there. But like, yeah, like creatively originality, like it's not, I don't know, maybe he did plan this. Like you can, like, like an astro shot, I had put in a lot of planning. So like, that's a creative side of doing landscape. You catch a cool, you just look out and like, oh, look at the beautiful gradients in the sky. I'm pulling up my camera. At least you took the decisive moment, so you get a high score for that. But I mean, there's nothing creative about it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were creative, like if this was like a creative planned shot, and I'm not tearing it apart in any way, if this was a creative planned shot, it would have been a long exposure. The water would have been completely flattened out. There would have been a little bit of post work being with some of the gradient in the horizon there to create more of a separation between the top and the bottom. I don't want to go too far here, but like there had been more done in that sense.
Yeah.
And conversely to what Pat just said, I would not shoot it flat. What I would do is I would line up my shot, and you see just that little section in front of the light. There's a tiny little splash, maybe a fish just surfaced or a little fly landed. There's a tiny little spot there. Like, I would set up my photo, press a 5-second delay shutter, and then throw a rock out. Let it hit the water and create a big ripple like a fish just surfaced. Like to be creative means that you're getting involved in creation. And so the decisive moment is like, that's an intentional moment. But creativity is a different thing to me. So decisive moment is capturing this moment, but the creation is lobbing a rock in there and creating a big, massive freaking divot in the flat surface. Makes sense?
I'm tracking. I put it at a 7 in terms of creativity because you guys are right. Like it's a beautiful shot. It's a great moment, but it is just the moment. There's no extra creative positioning.
Agreed. I'm dropping my score to a 7. I agree with Chance
Yeah.
all the way on this.
There you go.
And by the way, I should throw this in. Creativity to me is rare that I would ever throw a rock out into that. Like I want to capture things authentically. I don't like the creative aspect of me is far less about contrived moments. So I don't like if I'm taking a photo of food, like I don't arrange my knife and fork and put a toothpick in there and a watch and a knife next to it. That's just not me. What I do is I capture the moment with a creative eye. I don't put a bunch of props in there. So in this moment, I'd consider a prop like a rock. I would probably go for it.
I dig it. I dig it. Dave jumped in here, said on the Instagram site, he says, "Oh, look at that shot." Yes, Dave, we are looking at that shot. Don't worry. All right, so we got that relevance to theme. I kind of got to give it a 10 because it is a landscape and like that's right. I know you're still a 9. You're a 9 person. Okay, you know what? Let's give it a 9 just to keep it level and fair. Any thoughts on that? Or are we good to go? Move on.
I'm good.
Good. Okay. Artistic factor, stoke, vibe. Pat, what do you think?
I'll give it a 9. It's like the colors are great. You know, you got the greens and then the reds. You get those opposite sides of the color wheel. It's I totally feel like I'm here in that sunset. I'm there. It works.
I dig it. Sean?
9 for me.
Yeah. I was in the same boat, 9 as well. It's just such a beautiful mixture of colors, the greens, the blues, the reds, the oranges, the yellows. Like it's just so
good
crisp.
on Dave. Hey, Dave, you're on here right now. Shoot us a quick comment on whether you just happened to glance over your right shoulder and you saw this and you snapped the photo, or you're out on a walkabout and you sat your butt down and waited for this to occur over a period of half an hour. I'm curious.
Yeah. I am too. And for the rest of the people that are watching, I want to see your scores, everybody. So when I start doing scores with Pat and Sean, I want to see your scores in the comment section. So keep your eye on these things. Any final thoughts on Dave Curvin's shot before we move on to the next one?
Good job, Dave.
Good job, Dave. I like it. All right, let's move on to the next one. We got Jürgen Beck with this one that really caught my eye when I first saw it. I really dig it. It makes me think of you lost the forest for the trees kind of deal. Like just keep that phrase.
Look at you assigning meaning to images.
Almost. It's almost like an image is worth 1,000 words, perhaps something like that. But what are your guys' first thoughts, Pat?
I like these type of shots. It's composed well. I'm actually surprised because like I wouldn't say that I want more foreground. I don't want more sky. I would have maybe narrowed it just a bit because of this top corner's branches do distract me in the top right corner. But other than that, it kind of reminds me of that. I think it was like a Robert Bateman.
Yeah, for
photo.
Sure. That's what I thought.
Right? Yeah. I'm like looking deeper to see if there's like someone in there. But
that's right.
Yeah.
Maybe a bear in the back corner.
Right.
Spots rolling through on top of the mountain.
Yeah. No, I think it's good. Yeah.
I really love the translucency to it. Like the fact that you can see the hill in the background through the trees is just it's a beautiful connection with all the trees standing up. Corbin Bobby jumped on the Instagram site, said alignment of the vertical trees on a majority truly impressed me. Yeah, absolutely. And the horizon being kind of tilted, but the trees being straight. I love it. Sean, what do you think?
This is actually quite a technically challenging photo to capture. There's a number of aspects in here that a good photographer would have had to apply some pretty hardcore rules to capture what he's got. Or it could have just been a random sort of lucky shot, but I doubt it. There's just too many technical aspects in here to get lucky with. So my first assessment was, man, whoever this person is, they know how to take photos.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just a beauty of a shot. So let's get into it. Composition, technical skill out of 10. What do you guys think? Sean, I'll hit you first.
Composition, I feel like it's a bit too wide. To Pat's point, I would have liked to crop off probably not a third, but a quarter of the stuff on the right-hand side there. I don't feel like it adds much to the buildup of the angle of the slope up to those two soft peaks in the top left. So I would probably trim a quarter to the right. If not for that, there's not a whole lot in here I would change in the sense of composition.
I dig it. And out of 10, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 9.
9. I like it. Pat, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I would just be echoing Sean's. I'll just say 9.
9 as well. I hit 9 right off the bat as well. Creativity and originality. What do you guys think? Pat?
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a 9, only because most people wouldn't have seen like these patterns and the colors and the contrast that's happening here, and so that takes a keen eye to pull that out. So creatively, there's a difference when like we all see like these like orangey nice sunsets. It's like, oh, sunset shot, that's easy. You know what I mean? But when you look and you take a moment and you actually pull this out, I will give this creative or this decisive moment a higher level of creativity, because there is something there that most people would not see in a pattern.
Yeah, especially a vertical pattern like that too. You got to be in the right spot to hit that line. Otherwise they start to fade into each other, and you can be off by a half an inch, quarter of an inch, and it'll change the outlook of how the trees are in there. Yeah. Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, this is a photo that wouldn't be taken by most people because they would be unaware of the moment. To take this photo intentionally, as technically as it is being taken, what I feel is going on here is an experienced photographer with a keen eye who is looking for the not unusual, but is looking for the perhaps unconventional eye. And so I love it, man. Yeah, I'm giving this a 9.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. I think not only you have to be creative, or not just have the eye to see it, but you have to have the creativity to look for positions like this, which is just fantastic. Relevance. What do you guys think? Relevance to theme, Sean?
9.
9. Yep. Pat?
Yeah, it's a 10. It's a 9. Yeah, whatever we're going with. We're not giving
What's the
perfect
highest
score.
one we're allowed to
9.5.
use?
Yeah.
Artistic factor, stoke, vibe, Pat.
Yeah, I'm going 9 with this one as well. Yeah, there's something like I love so much about it, and then there's something a little bit more that I want out of it. I can't explain it.
Yeah, and like I would like to roll with a 9 on this, but because of what Pat said, it's been bugging me right from the very first time I saw it. There's something in it that's missing, and I feel I know what it is, but it's unimportant what I think. What is important is that there's just something, and so I'm giving it an 8.5.
8.5. All right, I
I
dig
could
it.
talk about what it is, but I don't think we've got the time. So anyway, Pat's got a reason. I got a reason. Maybe someone else has got a reason. It's an 8.5.
All right, I like it. I was going to go with 9 as well. There is something missing. I feel what you guys are saying, and I couldn't quite place it, but Dan C apparently can. He says, I see a Sam Squanch. So can see it right there. Perfect. Other than that, any closing thoughts on that one? I mean, it's just a great shot. I really love it. All right.
It's one of those great kind of like I forget what we used to call it in school, but it's basically like one of those type of shots that you could easily blow up and put into like a hotel. Like it's not offensive. It's not anything. You know what I mean? It's like it's just something
it's
that
the
you
hotel
can't
lobby, but an upscale hotel lobby.
Yeah. Like somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, like fancy bougie
somewhere
place.
that Bateman owns.
Absolutely. I love it. All right, let's jump into the next one here. This one's from Christian Walwidnik. Here we go. This is another just beauty shot. And man, you got to find that spot and then go in the middle of the road, put your camera down on the ground. Like there's so many aspects to this that I really dig. Let's get some first thoughts. Sean?
Man, this is a great photo.
I dig it. Pat, what do you got?
Yeah, it's good. We'll get more into it in a minute here, but like this is, this is always my jam, like I love landscape and I love, kind of automotive, like transportation, that, those roadways, all that stuff. Right. So to see like a shot like this, it's like, I want to shred it. I want to go pull my bike out or car or whatever and shred it. There's, anyways, we'll get into it, but it's a great shot. It's a cool shot. I love that, I've done shots like this. It's cool.
What I really like about it in my mind is the fact that it's black and white, because you could easily play the landscape card and use the greens and the blacks and the whites and the mountain grays and things like that. But to make it black and white, it's got to be that much crisper. It's got to be that much more.
Well, you need contrast to play with.
Yeah.
Like if there was no clouds in the sky, it'd be a far less of a photo. And so you need contrast. You need contrasting objects. I took a photo of myself and David Stone by Stone just a few days ago, and it's just kind of from our chests up with the sky behind us. There's not a cloud in the sky. The sky was bright blue, but I turned that into a black and white, and of course the sky was perfectly gray. But there was so much contrast between David and I and the backdrop that it really worked. But it's not a great idea to shoot black and white with like a blank sky or non-contrast objects around to get perspective, unless you really know what you're doing. And so to me, this photo was purposely chosen to be a black and white because of all of the contrasting elements that the individual obviously knows how to play with. I mean, you look at those two trees on the right-hand side of the road that are just freaking popping.
Yeah.
There's just so many aspects that he played with on the mountain face and on some of the clouds, and certainly on the center lines. There's been some adjustments made to really enhance the contrasting elements of a black and white photo. So this is not a photo that just lives naturally like this. This is one that was very carefully calculated, in my opinion.
Dig it. Dave Curvin jumps in on the Instagram site, says, love the black and white, timeless. Corbin Bobby says, amazing. Lighting, contrast, and brightness is amazing in black and white filter. Absolutely. Gorgeous shots. So let's get some scores here. Composition, technical skill. What do you think, Pat?
I am going to go with a 9 on this one. I was almost going to drop it a bit more, but I think that'll probably be in the artistic part of things, and I'll get into that.
Sweet. Sean?
I'm going to give it a 9. I like the fact, I'd like to know more about the photo. I think it's an F-16 or a large, sorry, not a plane. It's the way that the lens is set up. I believe that it's kind of like capturing maximum all the way through to infinity, right up to in front of the camera lens. It's all in great focus. So there's some good equipment used here, and it's just a friggin' fabulous shot. I'm giving it a 9.
9. I also selected 9. Creativity and originality. Sean is out. He's gone somewhere. Someone's at his door. Probably another bear. He's going to go beat up a bear. Pat, what do you think? Creativity, originality. This is where you can shine.
Amazing. This is like to go and step out into the middle of the road to capture a shot like this. Like, I'll give this a 9 as well. The only thing is, and I guess I would have been back in the technical skill, I guess.
Sorry.
I feel that there's one of two things that are wrong with this photo in a sense. And I'm not saying wrong because, art is subjective, but I wish that if the person knew what hyperfocal is and how to apply hyperfocal, I think that the mountain behind should be in better focus, or purposely shallow up the focus, because you have this layer of out of focus. And that's a lot of times, if it was a high aperture to create that really wide depth of field, you didn't apply a hyperfocal rule. Now, just for photographers out there, if you're doing a lot of landscape stuff, go learn hyperfocal. Hyperfocal doesn't mean crank your aperture to like 22 or whatever the max is to get everything in focus. Every lens and aperture setting has a hyperfocal point, and it's an actual measurement. And I'm not saying you have to go with a laser rangefinder, but if you can judge distance well, which most of us have been taught, in the spec community, you can judge whatever. We'll say 12 meters for a 50 mil at f8 will give me hyperfocal to the back of the photo, right? So this is just a little thing to keep in mind.
I dig it. He jumped in on the Instagram site, Veteran Shot Photography. He says focus stack is what he was using.
But what happened to the? I think that mountain should be in better focus. Then, if you focus stack,
I think it's great. I think the focus on the mountain is great. I thought it was. My only thought in respect to could that mountain be sharper was to your point, Pat, on hyperfocus or hyperfocal is this is for everyone else out there. This isn't obviously for Pat. Every lens that you would buy for a camera, it has a perfect sweet spot for the best focus within its f-stop range. So each lens might be the most perfectly sharp lens at f8, and then another lens it might be at f12, and then another lens it might be at f6, whatever. So you've got to know your lens for sure. But if this individual image stacked, that's an entirely different concept to just taking one photo. What he has done in essence is taken a number of photos of that same spot and then layered them on top of each other through software to give additional elements within the photo that he can manipulate or that he can draw out or whatever. I think this is an amazing shot. And here's why. Not just the technical application of it, but to my eye, the moment that I looked at this photo, I was bouncing back and forth from the foreground where the line starts, the center line starts, and it drags my eye right up that road and starts doing that sweeper. And now I'm driving a car. Whoa! That's what my eye did first. But as I started driving my car, I was like, whoa, look at that mountain. And now my eye's bouncing back and forth between the extreme distance to the extreme close-up. When my mind is working hard on a photo, it's a sign that it's a good photo. To me, it's what I use as a metric. I've seen a gajillion photos in my life. But if my brain is doing a lot of high calculations, it means it's a good photo to me. So that's all I got to say on this one.
Like it's for me, like, and this is just again personal preference, but yeah, I feel like that there could have been done a little bit more to that mountain because my eye gets dragged straight into it. So without that little bit of extra, I don't know if it's pop, contrast, whatever, if this was focus stacked and that mountain was, you have like a solid focused version of it to work with. It should have just been a little bit more livened up to me. Because my eye gets dragged straight into it and then back to the foreground, back into it. Yeah.
Makes sense.
I dig it. What score do you want to do, Pat? Out of 10, creativity and originality.
I'll definitely give this a 9 for sure, just because like this is a thought out shot. This wasn't a decisive moment. This was thought out. He said he focus stacked, so I'll even give it a 9.5 because he said he focus stacked. So that means that he has not just he's gone past decisive moment, but he's actually taken time to lay a camera down, focus stack the shot. And if he either has a natural eye to it or actually was thoughtful about it, that line pulls you straight up into the mountain from the center of the road. And just the whole composition of foreground, like, mid and background, like there's these beautiful layers, all these layers, including the sky. So definitely, I'll give him a 10. I'm going to give him a 10 on it.
Ooh, giving him a 10 on that one, Sean. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm a 9.8. And the reason why is because not only is there a pile of beautiful technical aspects to this, I am mesmerized by the cloud cover on top of the mountain peaks.
Yeah.
And I am deadly curious as to whether he took a long time to wait for those clouds to form up precisely like that, or that was just happenstance. Because if that was the definitive moment where he took those photos because of that cloud cover, maybe I'm a 9.9 instead of a 9.8. It's a bonkers photo for me anyway.
Yeah. I put it at 9 as well. I have it like a 9 with advantage. So if it comes down to a really tight race,
is that like a D&D term or?
It is, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, it's also in martial arts. If you go to a jiu-jitsu tournament, you can get advantage or whatever.
Yeah, okay, right.
So, moving on, Christian, if you're still on the Instagram side, do let us know though if that was just happenstance or you were waiting for that moment. That I'm all curious about that as well. Corbin Bobby jumped in on the Instagram side, said, and he was under pressure checking a plausible incoming vehicle or bear. So 100% under pressure. It's a good shot. All right, moving on to relevance to theme. What do you guys think, Pat?
Yeah, it's 9.5. I mean, it's a landscape shot, and it's exactly what we were looking for.
9 with advantage, Sean.
9 to me.
Yeah. All right, I like it. And artistic factor, Stoke vibe. What do you think?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I might even give it a 9.5.
All right, sweet. I like it. I was up there as well. So he's got 9 with 3 advantages across 36 overall with 3 advantages. He's doing pretty well. And he said, veteran shot photography jumped in. He said, I was dodging cars at the time. So good to go. That's awesome. I like it. Next up, here we go. We've gone through 3, done pretty well. We're probably going to go long again through all these photos.
We can tighten it up a bit.
I'm good. I'm happy to hang out and chat. As long as Pat's got time, I think we can hang out. The next shot, Sam Martell. This guy is a CF photographer. I can't remember what the actual trade's called. Combat photographer.
Image tech.
Image tech. There we go. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. But beautiful shot. I really love the helicopter and the lighthouse. What are you guys' first thoughts, Sean?
I love it. There's something about it that just bugs my eye a little bit, but maybe we'll get into that. But I love this photo.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Pat, what do you think?
Great shot. I would have kept that left edge a little cleaner. I don't know if there was any room to make that, if that's water on the other side of that edge, or I would have, but I mean, if you can't, because of whatever that landscape is past that, it was the right call to cut it there. So otherwise, yeah, I dig it. It's good. It's a cool shot. It's a really cool shot.
And it's one of those shots that not everybody's going to be able to take because he's obviously flying above that other helicopter, right? And so like having the opportunity, this is one of those decisive moments of like, you're there and you have the moment. You got to take that shot. Absolutely. On the Instagram side, veteran shot photography jumped in, said, Banff Parkway I need to carry chalk to Mark's tripod next time around.
Yeah, I recognize the spot actually. I thought that's where it was.
It is a beautiful one. Corbin Bobby says the corner of the island touching the left side, but it is a great picture. Yeah, this little bit of corner on the edge, left-hand side is tricky because it draws the eye in. Let's get some scores then right off the bat. Composition, technical skill. Pat, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I'll go 9. You know what I mean? Just because this is not an easy shot. Like the helicopter's mid-flight. You're all mid-flight. There's all these like movement aspects to this. So yeah, I'll give it a 9.
9 it is. I like it. Sean?
Technically, I'm going to give it a 9 with a cautionary tale for my eye. And here's why. Because I'm drawn to the helicopter. I love how crisp it is. I mean, that's such a beautiful technical shot, which I'm sure was incredibly difficult to get. But I moved from the sharp contrast and like pop-in photo of the helicopter, bam, straight to the left of the lighthouse, and it's washed out. And it feels like they're almost 2 different moments, like 2 different parts of a photo. One is crisp and clean, and the other one is just a bit washed out. Now, I know that the lighthouse, that's the light. That's what the lighthouse was getting. I'm sure that the photographer knows how to adjust that moment. Could have, brought down some of the bright whiteness of the light on the White House to have it not quite as washed out. The top of the lighthouse being kind of washed out red. I would have loved to see a little bit more vibrancy in there so that it literally was an obvious lighthouse, as is the obvious helicopter. And so I find them almost to be like 2 different photos. Technically, it's correct. And I know that the individual is such a good photographer that they feel comfortable having reality portrayed as reality. And so that lighthouse is washed out because it's washed out in reality. And so then that begs the question, how much artistic liberty does a person take to capture the moment for real? We all know that we could adjust that lighthouse, but they chose not to. If they were on right now, I'd be asking them these specific questions. Why did you choose not to adjust that? I'd
Mm.
love to hear the rationale, and I would learn something about it. And probably what I would learn is I've still got a few more years of photography in front of me until these kind of moments make me more comfortable with the lighthouse. Does that make sense?
Hmm. Absolutely. I find the way I was looking at it, the lighthouse is washed out, but also the rocks surround, like they all kind of build up to the point that you can't really focus on the island as much. It seems very off comparatively to the helicopter against the blue ocean. Like it is. I agree with you. It looks like almost two separate photos that have been.
But it's an intentional choice.
Absolutely.
The photographer distinctively chose that look. It's not that they're unaware of that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I have no doubt.
And that's kind of why I appreciate it a little bit more, to be honest.
I dig it. It is just such a great shot, and the depth of color in the ocean contrasting against the island as well is such a great contrast to itself. So, creativity, originality. What do you guys think?
I'm a 9.
9. Pat?
Yeah, I'll give it a 9.
9. I dig
Pat's being very careful.
But it's interesting because I'll just say this too, like, as an image tech or a journalist, right? Like you can't manipulate photos, like you're not supposed to, right? So that's probably part of like the mindset here of what
That's a
can
great
be
point, Pat.
done.
I hadn't thought of that. Great point.
Yeah, so that because it's an ethical thing, right? Like you can't modify an image. So like they're pretty much trained not to. So to capture this in its real form, like you're allowed to do slider work for journalism and stuff like that, but actual manipulation of photos is like that's an ethical no. So
fantastic. Chance, can you follow up with the photographer on that one, maybe
sure.
after the show, and just ask a little bit more about that? I'd love. Do you know what would be perfect to have
Get him on the show? Yeah. Well, we'll see if we can pull that off before everything shuts down for the winter, but we'll see where we can go with that one. I also had it at a 9. And then relevance to theme. What do you guys think? Pat?
I'm giving it an 8. I'm sorry, because I love it. It's a great shot, but is it an environmental shot of a helicopter or a landscape photo with a helicopter in it? Right? And I feel it's a environmental shot of a helicopter. You know what I mean? This is where we fly. This is what we do. This isn't a landscape shot. Just my opinion. It's a kick-ass photo. Don't get me wrong.
I dig it. I was in the same boat when I got it. I was like, is that really a landscape photo? To the point that it is a photo of the helicopter versus the landscape. So I'm down with you on 8. I was waffling between 8 and 9. So I'm with you though. I'm going to go to 8. Sean, what do you think?
I'm a 9 because it's thinking outside of the box.
Oh, look at that. All right.
Screw you, Pat.
We'll give him an 8 with advantage. How does that sound? So artistic factor, stoke, vibe. Sean?
I'm giving it an 8.5.
Ooh, 8.5. Pat?
Oh, I'm going to give it a 9. I'm super stoked with this photo. I love it. It fires me up. I see this helicopter. I'm like, yeah, this is cool. This is cool. Right?
I dig it. I'm going to go with the 9 as well. I think that it is a great shot, and it is it bears well upon the CF and the image techs that are taking these kind of photos.
Awesome.
Like that is just awesome. So I'm going to give it a 9.
I think we deserve to give it a special mention, if only for the fact that some freaking rad person threw this into the competition. I love it, man. I want to meet them on the podcast for sure, but I appreciate them sending this photo in. It's freaking awesome.
All right. Well, I will reach out to him and I will see if we can get him on the podcast. The fact that he's still serving might change things. And I say he, I'm assuming Sam is a dude. It might be a female as well. So I don't know, but we'll see. I'll reach out to them and we'll get them on the podcast. Right. Moving on. The last of our top 5, we got Maggie Johnson. Drop this guy in, which absolutely gorgeous. And you know what? I was incorrect earlier when I said Chris's was first. This one was first. It went to email. Chris was first.
Chance, can you scroll out on that one? Just it looks like you're scrolled in a bit tight, and it's kind of blowing it out a little bit. Maybe
I am out as far as I can get.
Okay.
on that one. But I think you're right. The couple of times when I did download it and when I cropped it for the video that I did a couple of days ago, I noticed that it became very out of focus. It lost a lot of that crispness. So
yeah, that's right.
I think the resolution of it is just not quite
so for
that
anyone
high.
who's watching right now, the original doesn't look quite like this.
Yeah, it's much crisper being smaller, but I wish I could bring it out a little bit. But on that notice, let's get some first thoughts. Pat, what do you think?
Landscape photo, it's awesome. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. It's I feel like this is a very purposely shot photo, or there wasn't a decisive moment here. No matter what it is, the way that little piece of like island or whatever we're going to call that, the land on the left side, is being illuminated by the sun rays, and the person is in the shade taking the shot, and then you have the layers, and then the sky and the mist. Like it's a great landscape shot.
This is beautiful. Yeah. One of the things I really love is the lines between the shadows, where you can see the different gradients of light throughout the whole shot. I really dig that a lot. Corbin Bobby jumped in on the Instagram, said rays in the fog and the horizontal lines, superb. Absolutely. And then Max Sidney says, love this photo. I'm in agreement. Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, I love it. It's ethereal. It's almost Lord of the Rings like, and so right from the bottom right through to the top, there's a lot of things going on. And of course, my favorite style of photography is multi-layered photography. So stuff that, is relatively busy for the eye, that is almost a distraction per se. But this is the kind of photo that really, really works for me. I have some technical comments that maybe we'll get into, but overall, I really like this photo.
I agree. Oh, movie gal, this is Maggie. She jumped in here, says we were on a raft going out for a grizzly bear photo shoot, and we turned around and this was there.
Bam. Whereabouts though? Can
Beauty,
you find out, Chance?
Whereabouts? Let us know, movie gal. She'll tell us here in a second. Let's get into the grading of this one right now. Composition, technical skill. What do you think, Pat?
Yeah, like it's I'll give it a 9.5.
Ooh, 9.5. Look at that right off the bat. Any thoughts on it?
Like there's some post work that I would have done to this to just put this straight into like the stratosphere. But yeah, no, it's a great photo, and it's such a great point that I'm glad that that was shared with us, because so many times, and it was a buddy of mine that kind of brought this out, was like, I'd be so focused on getting a photo of something in front of me that sometimes you don't look behind you, and there is an amazing light and shadow happening behind you, and you're like, yeah, you can find bangers like this.
Got to keep your head on a swivel. Movie gal says Bella Coola. That's where it was. Max City says, but did you get the grizzly bear photo? And she says, yes, we got lots of grizzlies. So that's good for sure. All right, so you said 9.5 for that one, Pat. Sean, what do you score it at?
I want to give it a 9.5, but I'm backing it off to a 9, and here's why. To my eye, it feels like it's just a little off the horizontal. It feels like you could have used a little bit of alignment, maybe shifted it just a touch to the, align it up a little tighter. So that's one thing. The background, I would have used some dehaze to bring out the treetops a little bit more and bring out that mist a bit more, and not have it quite as murky in the background. I think it would have given it a fair bit more contrast, and I would have liked to played with those sun rays that are coming in from the right to the left onto the island. So overall, there's some things that I would want to play with myself, particularly like right at the back of the photo. It's a rock face, it's a mountain. And you've really, really, really got to look for the details on that mountain to see that it's a mountain. So I'd want to play with a lot of those things to see what I could come up with. As Pat said, I feel with some post-processing work, this could be a frickin' banger. But it isn't technically a banger, and I see the potential in it.
I love it, but it could be, but it's not.
It's not. But I see the potential in it. Now, I'm not running the photo down. I've given it a 9, and I want to give it a 9.5 because there's 9.5 hidden in there. It's just, you've got to play with these things to draw out the real gold. It's rare. I'm going to hand this off to Pat in a sec. I find it is rare that I will take a photo in a day. I'll get them throughout the week, of course, but in a day, it's rare that I will take the perfect photo that requires no post processing. It's rare because my eye, after the photo is taken, once I get into my software, it sees other potential. It sees curiosity. It sees an opportunity to shift things in that image that I will want to. So when I say, for me, this photo needs some post processing, that is not a slur. That is not like a downgrade, though I have downgraded it by half a point. When I see the potential in the photo, it's like actually a pat on the back. It's like, good job, but let's just post process a bit more. Hope that makes sense. What do you think, Pat?
Yeah, it'd be interesting is to do. I don't know if we'd make it an actual contest, but it'd be fun to throw an image up there. One of us, go and get a stock ish.
Like Chance's photo of I don't know, like a park or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
But yeah. But you
And
know what
then
I'm
maybe
saying, though,
have
right?
someone post process it. I don't know.
Well, we both talk about our post, because I like my post processing would be slightly different
That's
than where
right.
you're going. I'm
That's
listening to
right.
yours, and I'm like, oh,
That's
you know,
right.
but what I would do is, you know what I mean?
Do you have those two photos, Chance?
I do. It would take me a minute to pull them up, but I can get them.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
But
As
yeah,
Pat said,
yeah. So you know what I mean? Like if I was actually going to manipulate this to be like almost a fine, because this is borderline fine art
it
landscape.
really is.
And so, you know, some of the little things I would do, right? Like I would crop in just a slight amount on the left side to take that top green tree off so that all the trees are pretty much level.
Yeah,
I would actually go in there with a healing brush, and I would take all these dead branches off in that island as well, and just kind of make that all cleaned up. I would probably not mess with the haze in the background, but with a contrast brush, bring a little bit of the rock in the back layer out. And that'd probably be about that's kind of where I would be.
I dig it.
I think that we should probably do a show on this very idea. I know that, like, over the years, I guess I've been playing with photography post processing for about 20 odd years. I wouldn't call myself good, but better than the average person when I get focused. But it's an entire other aspect of photography that isn't talked about often enough, because a photo is only half a photo until you hit it with the other half, which is post processing in some cases. And so my point was, you can sometimes take a perfect shot without post processing, but it's rare. I do want to make the point that you should always use post processing to see what you can create. And if you don't like it, then throw it away. But always get in there and dig around and play and be creative and be curious, and actually use the software in a way that you think is wrong. And you might be right. And so you got to play with post processing.
I want to add to that too, right? Because there's like this huge, like, kind of like mentality that, there's a split sometimes that people go, and I don't know if it's like a thing or a stage that photographers go through, where it's like, oh, well, post processing's cheating, or, what's the line or whatever, right? Well, yeah, there is that. And the one thing, but we got to be super clear about, like, and this is like something I have to remind people, because it's normally in an early stage. It's like, oh, I don't really do any post processing. I don't want to, they become like almost like a purist, like they want to be like an analog photographer, right? And I'm a lumographer. Like, even people that shot film, if you watch an actual gallery thing, like I remember watching one, and I don't know how many times they sent this photo back to the darkroom. You know what I mean? Because like he'd be like, I want it lighter here, I want it darker there. And like they had it blown up, right? It was going to be a print in a gallery, right? And I need this to happen, I need that to happen. And like if you look at the tools in Photoshop, and I know I'm on a bit of a tangent for a split second. If you look at the tools, dodge and burn is a paddle and like an okay looking symbol, right? And this is how in the darkroom they would either put a paddle over top to underexpose something, and they would use the okay kind of symbol to allow light to go through to burn certain parts.
Good
right?
Man,
and this is
good man,
right.
Mm.
And this is why these exist. It's like it wasn't like, oh yeah, we're just computer come along and it's ruining photography. No, we've been doing this with darkrooms. Like, you know what I mean? We just have a technical version, like an electronic version now.
Do you know what the hilarious part is? I learned how to manipulate images in the darkroom in high school in 1982 when I was the grad high school book of photographer. So that's where I started learning darkroom. And I was taught to do dodge and burn. But I'd forgotten that, as you just described, that there's still a carryover into Photoshop and Lightroom and all of that good stuff. So thanks for reminding me.
I dig it. This is good stuff to learn, and I love it. But I do want to get back to the scoring so that we don't get too off on a tangent. Actually, before we do that, I did get those two photos up. Do you want me to pull them up now and we can talk about it? Okay, so this was the original shot that I took, and it is quite nice in my opinion. I just dropped my kids off at school, and I looked back and I saw the mist and the haze, and I was like, oh, that is just gorgeous. So I took that one. Sean took it as a personal project and did 10-minute post-processing. And this is what he was able to come up with. And even then, this is a bit zoomed in. It should be pulled back a little bit because it was a vertical photo, but this is where we're at. And even then, just the color differences, the reflections on the water, bringing those two girls out, changing the colors of the sky. There's so many pieces when you go back and forth between these. You have very light to focal point changes, right? Your version of thirds changes, those kinds of things. They're just such a beautiful shift. And the crop changes, all that stuff. Sean, you want to talk about it at all?
Well, I won't describe what I was trying to do other than try to open Chance's mind to the potential of when you take a photo, it's one photo of many photos. You can do it in so many different ways once you start playing around. And so there's many ways I could have done this, but I chose a way that contrasted against Chance's original photo to create some curiosity in his mind. The light that you see here is there. Now go back to the other image, Chance. It's not there, but it is there. Everything in my photo is in this photo, except you've got to have a vision for it. You've got to have some curiosity with it. You've got to maybe play around a bit until you find what is good to your eye. Now, here's the beautiful part of this. As you're playing around trying to create this, so you can see, well, I'm pointing at the trees just above the girls, those trees. I really wanted to capture those treetops in this photo for me, for my own technical eye. Now go back to the original image, Chance. You can see they're like almost boring, those treetops, but then go back to the one I did. Now they're kind of interesting to me anyway. And so there's something in here for everyone. The distinction between the two photos is it's the same moment, but two different moments, depending on how you play with it.
I do love the fact that you got the treetop not in the original position, but it's in the reflection, which is neat. So I really like that. Pat, you got any points to add on this before we go back to Maggie's shot?
No, it was really cool that Sean showed me this a while back when you took that shot, and it's post is I won't say necessary. It's seldom though that you'll see like any fine art or any really rad shot, even journalism, where there hasn't been some slider manipulation just to extract, more of the essence of the photo.
Yeah, I dig it. I really appreciated Sean doing this because it really opened my eyes to what's going on.
It does not only open your eyes as to the photo, but what it has opened your eyes to is the future. Because now when you're looking at this place, you'll see it differently. And when you go to a place that you've never seen before, you know that you're looking at, in one moment, two images. The image that you see in your mind several weeks ago and the image that you see now through a little bit of, I can adjust things. So every time you see these kind of things, it's not, no one should ever think, oh, wow, look at the difference. What you should be thinking is, oh, wow, how can I do that? Oh, wow, how do I get there? Oh, wow, what can I do? And so don't sweat like the two photo differences. Sweat, how do you start playing with post-processing to see a bunch of different moments from one moment?
It's seeing the multiverse in the single moment, right? I like that. I dig it a lot. Let's get back to Maggie's photo here. We got kind of off track and went down a bit of a rabbit hole, but I really do appreciate it. Corbin Bobby jumped in here on the Instagram side, said play with the contrast. It will level this up a notch. He carries on because when we were talking about post-processing, he says, because most post-processing are into millions of geo magazines. He made up this term. And he said, so post-processing is the right thing to discover and be adventurous with, which I think is a great point as well. That's definitely, you can be adventurous. Dan C jumped in here. He said, as a kid, my grandparents had a painting that looked like this photo. As a kid, I always wondered if it was a real place. Now I know it is. Beautiful, absolutely. And as you guys said, this is like almost a fine art kind of landscape shot. So in terms of creativity, originality, what do you guys think? Where are you going to place this one? Sean? Oh, you got to unmute yourself.
I'm giving it a 9.
9. I like it. Pat?
I'll give it a solid 9 as well.
Solid 9, especially with the story. The fact that shit just like kind of turned around and
100.
bang. Absolutely. Relevance to the theme overall?
9.
9.5. Yeah.
9.5. I was thinking 9 with an advantage for sure, because that is this is exactly
It's a landscape. Yeah, that's what we wanted. Yeah.
Artistic factor, stoke, vibe. What do you guys think? Pat?
9.5.
9.5. Sean?
9.
9. All right.
I almost wanted to go 9.5 there.
Almost.
But I have no reasons.
I was at 9, but not quite 9.5. It is a beautiful photo. I think the only thing that doesn't stoke my vibe, I don't know how else to put this, is unfortunately just the resolution of the photo. Like just the fact that it's not such a high resolution that everything is really crisp. The fact that it gets blown up a little bit kind of loses it for me. So that is our top 5. We have 3 clear winners, or the top 3 clear for sure. Do you want to do the honorable mention first before we announce?
Some honorable mentions, yeah.
Okay. So we have 3 honorable mentions here that we're going to go through. First one came from Isaac Miller. This one came in very last moment, right before I shut down submission time frame. So what are your thoughts on this one, Sean?
Well, I love this photo, and it goes back to the helicopter photo for me. It's outside of the box thinking to some degree. I know it's landscape photography, and what Isaac has done is, to my eye anyway, he's inverted the problem. Like, he's taken the landscape and hit it with all of the lens soft blur through bokeh, and then we've got the donkey in the foreground as the landscape per se. But it isn't, of course, because now my mind, thinking outside of the box, is filling in the gaps. I understand the landscape, so now it's filling in the bokeh'd out area. And I'm trying to clarify that pond that's in the background. Now I'm trying to clarify what the mountains are beyond, how tall, etc. So for my mind and how I like to think outside of the box, and it's not per se photography related, it's just how I think, this photo really works, even though I think it's a bit of a cheat on the landscape photography piece. So I just wanted to raise this photo up as a good example of, I freaking love it, but maybe it doesn't fall perfectly into landscape.
Yeah, for sure. Pat, you got any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree with what Sean was saying. It's a environmental shot of a donkey or mule or whatever. I love the shot though. I love the contrast, the colors, the crispness, the shallow depth of field of the head, and how everything is like actually it's a portrait. It's a portrait of an animal, and it's an environmental portrait of the animal. And so I think it's very cool. It's a very cool shot. But yeah, I mean, landscape. If we needed to, because we only got 4 entries, I could play that.
It's 4th, but it's a special mention because it is a creative thinking. But for anyone out there who's seeing this as landscape, as Pat said, it's probably more of an environmental portrait, which is a perfect title, I think.
Yeah. When he sent it to me, and I looked at it and I was like, man, like, this isn't landscape at all, but it does have a landscape in it.
It kind of is.
Like, okay, I got you. I feel you. It is really great, and the crispness of the hairs and the swirl right in the middle of the donkey's face there is just super crisp. Great shot. I really dig it. So Isaac, I appreciate you sending this into us. It was
thanks, pal.
Great to look. Next honorable mention, we got Tyler Pelkey with this bridge, and this is a great shot. Just
it really is.
One.
It really is. I love this photo. I feel it could have been in the top 5. I had it in and out of my top 5, and it's not because it didn't deserve to belong in there. It's simply that we had such a solid top 5 that I could have flipped a coin on putting this one in or not. The reason that I wanted it to be a honorable mention or a special mention is just because it's such a beautiful shot. And if we had the top 6, this would have been in it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it would have been in the top 6, it could have turned out being number 2. I don't know, based on how we're voting throughout this process. So it's not that it doesn't deserve to win. It's just that we didn't have space for it to go in. How about that?
That is the challenge. I mean, looking at the scores right now, first and fifth are separated by 3 points. Like it is not. It's super tight. All 3 of the top prizes have 36, and it's the advantages and that are changing it. So it's super tight race. All these photos were just fantastic. And then the final honorable mention, we got Ryan Corbett or Corbett. I don't know how to pronounce it, but
yeah, Corbett.
There we go. Sean, what are you thinking on this one?
Again, it's a gorgeous shot, and I think that could have been in the top 5 easily. I mean, it fits all of the parameters. It would have been a high-scoring one, but for my eye, I feel that it's. And I know this is going to sound like it's not that I'm cutting anyone down. It feels a bit two-dimensional to me rather than three-dimensional. And I know that there's foreground, midground, foreground. I know that we've got contrast, and I know what's going on in the photo. It just feels a touch 2D rather than 3D. That's an unfair assessment, but we've got little time to assess. So that would be my comment.
My thought, it was kind of coming in and out of my top 5 as well, and it was the road that threw it off for me. I find that unlike Christian's photo where the road was centered and it kind of drew your eye forward, I find this one being, because it's off-centered, then comes into the center, it throws my viewpoint off to the side of the photo rather than bringing it up towards the mountain, if that makes sense. And so that's why I didn't bring it into the top 5. But it is a gorgeous photo. Maybe even if you were to crop it at the edge of the road so you don't see it, and it was just the trees and the mountains, might have changed things a little bit. But yeah, beautiful photo. Pat, you got any thoughts?
Yeah, like I totally dig the shot there, and like Sean's saying, like it's missing the 3D pop, and I think there's a couple things that one, I think there could have been a little bit of difference in how the post was done. And again, I'm just looking at this because I think the road's cool and I like the path in there, but I still would have cropped it again, because you're almost at a half and half. This is a good example of like a landscape that's almost half and half.
Correct.
Right? And so it's not quite the 2/3, like it's not 2/3 sky and 1/3 ground, or 2/3 ground and 1/3 sky. And to our brains, and look up like, the golden ratio and understand the rule of thirds, there is an appeasing thing in our brain that like kind of takes it in like candy and it's like, ooh, that's cool. So I think that part of it is the fact that it's kind of a 50-50 split. It's, and which I think makes it, don't get mad at me, Ryan, but it becomes boring because of that. I can just crop it with just a piece of paper and I can make this, I feel it's a better photo. It's a great photo. It just needed to be manipulated.
Yeah.
Do you know what it makes it a great photo? Is he's got a great eye. It's just that he needs to play around with his great eye a little bit more. I'm sure in a matter of a handful of hours, he'll be looking at the world completely different after the show, I think.
Yeah. This is it's such a great shot. Corbin Bobby jumped in here on the Instagram side, said with contrast and lighting in black and white, it could have been a standout.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ways I'd love to play with this. About a minute ago, I almost said it out loud, like, hey, Chance, send me this photo and I'll manipulate it in a way that I want to, and then I'll send it to the owner and they can see what they think. Like, I'm not going to show it to the internet, but I don't want to do that with someone else's work. And so that's why I didn't say it out loud. But that's what my brain wants to do right now, is play with this photo.
Tracking. I love it. I think it's great. Any final thoughts on any of the shots we've done before we announce the lineup? What do you think, Pat?
I'm super stoked that this had such a people putting in photos, and I'm loving that this is going where it's going. I'm having such a good time with this, and I love that people are submitting. Thank you for letting us tear and critique your work, because it's all beautiful work and it's all good and it's all personal, and it takes bravery. And I love that you guys are sharing it with us. Thank you.
I could not agree more. Sean, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm same with Pat. I'm glad he brought it up. I was thinking about how I was going to say it in a cool way, but he said it cooler than I can. I just want to call out my buddy Ryan Gardner, who threw a photo in here. We've raced a bunch of 24-hour solo mountain bike races together. He is a RCMP veteran, lives out on the left coast, cool as hell guy. And his photo was great with the sun in the foreground. The horizontal is probably down in Squamish Wear, etc. But I love the photo. It's just that with such a freaking hardcore top 5 right now, it just didn't slide its way in there. So to my friend Ryan, let's see what you got next month, pal. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I'm going to go around one more time. I'm going to show off all the photos that we have for today, and then we'll get into our top 5 and go from there. So give me 2 seconds while I get this set up, and we will be good to go. Here we go. Let's put this up. So we got Chris Gore right in here. He dropped this one beautiful bridge. Any thoughts on this one before I move on? No, good to go.
Again, post-processing would have made that an amazing shot. Don't be afraid to post, people. Even if it's like Snapseed or the in-house editor within the phone. If this was a phone shot, just take a second, mess with them just a bit, and yeah.
Sean, you were muted. We can't hear you. What you're saying?
Sorry. I don't want to take up much time for each photo, but just mess with this photo, Chris, in a bunch of different ways that you don't think is even right, and you'll find something that's right.
I dig it. Next up, we got Daniel Labonte. Beautiful shot. Great positioning of the sun. And again, just such a tight grouping of great shots. It's hard to pick anyone that is better. Any thoughts on this one?
I wanted to slide it in there in the top 5 just because it's such an intentional landscape photo. I mean, to line up the sun, to get that perfect alignment in the center with the sky behind it, the whole thing, the lighting, the shadows, the composition, the thoughtfulness, that's not just a 12-second photo. And I know that, for Daniel to get out there and take that photo, I want to move it up to number 1 position. Sadly, this is a photo competition, and the technicalities do matter, and a bunch of sort of nuances kind of matter now. And if not for that, I'd have given it number 1, but it's a technical photo. So,
Pat?
Yeah, no, I dig it. Very intentional. And this is what I love about this. I don't know if it's we just hit a good theme or what, but I hope that we can continue on with this, because this isn't a snapshot. This isn't just oh, cool, a stack of rocks, click and walk on. This is oh, cool, a stack of rocks. Oh, look, the sun's there. Oh, I can get and make a peak, just over top of these rocks. You know what I mean? Putting those extra elements into it just makes it it makes it. I'm sure this was fun to take. It's a cool shot, and it was fun to take, probably.
Yeah, and you know what? My mind, when a photo's good enough, I start filling in the gaps with my imagination, with my curiosity. That to me is a hallmark of a good photo. And so I saw this photo and I realized all of the elements that Daniel had to put into place to get this photo. And then I thought, I wonder if he built it. I wonder if one of his kids built it. I wonder if it's been there a long time. I wonder if he walks past it This is what a photo should do. Is it should pull a narrative out of you, a curiosity narrative. So, Daniel, you pulled a curiosity narrative out of me, and that's why I want to throw you up in the top 5. But, we had a strong top 5, so good job.
But I'm not gonna. But I'm not gonna. Next up, we got Dave Kerbin. Another gorgeous shot. Any quick points on this one before we move on?
No, this is another one of those ones that should have probably been in the top 5, but we had to pick 5. I really dig this shot personally. Yeah, but
post-processing.
Post-processing, yeah. I got nothing on that one. Dave Kerbin, we did this one already. We got this guy already with Isaac Miller. Got Jurgen Beck, dropped this guy. Christian Wall-Woodnick, another great shot. Maggie Johnson. There you go. So that's the original with it.
Yeah, much better.
Punched out. Oh, she did. She hit us up on the Instagram side about that. Let me just read that off real quick here. It says that would be from the download because the print I did for a gallery was crisp. Thanks y'all for the advice. It's worth a lot for my photography. Yeah, absolutely. And then so moving on from there, Nick Phelps, another beautiful shot. I really dig this one a lot. Any thoughts?
The only thing, and I don't know if it's just the resolution in this one, I'd have to double check the folder, but you got quite a bit of banding because you went a little hardcore on the, I don't know if it was a gradient filter or whatever you did here, but you have banding coming up through the sky. So if I had to choose between banding and having a like this gradient, yeah, I wouldn't bother because I don't want immediately when I see banding, I'm like, oh well, it's a digital photo. I lose. It starts to lose its magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the filter applied to the sky. So that's an unnatural sky, and you can see that when you look just above all of the tree line. There's that obviousness of the digital filter applied. You can see it in the contrast. You can see it in the outline. So that's the reason if not for that, then this could have been another top 5 photo. I will throw in one more observation though. The waterfall as a whole, while I appreciate that it's got that beautiful, smooth, kind of shutter effect, it feels like, the wide angle lens that was used to shoot this almost has a touch of distortion right around that waterfall area. I would have personally zoomed in, like gone right into the photo and got more of the waterfall and far less of this stuff all off to the right-hand side. So I'd have cropped by a zoom and I wouldn't have used quite as much sky filter.
Tracking. I love it. These are all good points for anybody that wants to get better at photography. These are like, we should be taking these as gold. Then we got Ryan Corbett. We just talked about this one for sure. Ryan Gardner, this is the one you were talking about a second ago. Another beautiful shot. Great sun, great trees.
It's the light. The light. Yeah. He didn't just, it wasn't just a photo of the sun, and it wasn't just a photo for the competition. He was capturing things there that are ephemeral, that are nebulous, that are not guaranteed. The things that he captured are things that you have to hunt. They're not handed to you on a silver platter. So I do appreciate that. It's just that he needed some post-processing to level up. That's all.
Post-processing for the win. Kind of across the board. I love it.
Yeah.
Any thoughts, Pat, before we move on?
Yeah, no, like even if the post-processing is just crop would have made this even more of a don't be afraid to crop, people. Don't be afraid to crop. There's a bunch of stuff that's on the outer edges that is completely useless and doesn't need to be there. And if you bring it in to focus in more on your subject, it would have just been great.
Yeah. Beauty. All right.
I mean, that log, or sorry, can you go back to that? The tree that's broken down. I mean, there's that soft brown lighting in there. Like that could have been my image, just that.
Right.
But with this, just a touch to the left of the sun and then just to a touch to the right of the upright log. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that would have been prime for sure. Well, a lot of lessons on cropping today. So, I mean, that's landscapes as a whole. You want to capture all of it, right? But at the same time,
I hammer crop all the time. I think I shouldn't. We've only done 3 of these, but every time it's like crop,
rightfully
crop.
So, Pat. Rightfully so. I'm glad you are.
And I think this is part of it is especially as a photographer. I know my wife and I have talked about this a lot. Is then when you take photos versus when you're looking at the thing, it never feels the same. And a lot of it, I think, is because our focal point, as with our eyes, we can focus on something without seeing all the rest of the stuff. Whereas in a photo, when you have all the rest of the stuff, it just blurs out your subject, if that makes sense. So I think it's important to be able to crop stuff off and clean it up a little bit so it's more of what you were looking at rather than the whole scene, if that makes sense.
No, it's a great observation. That's a great observation. And I mean, for the most part, we basically have 250 mils in our eye, like for eyeballs. So between, I mean, so more like a 40 mil kind of eyeball focal length. So, so when
did you say
change
40 millimeter? Exactly.
So when you change those focal lengths, that's when you can make an image also interesting, right? By purposely changing those focal lengths, because our eyes, again, aren't used to that, right? People that can take great photos in that 50 mil range, that can take great photos, I think are very talented, because, if you just give that lens to anyone, you give a nifty 50 to anyone, most of the time the images will look very plain, boring. 35 to 50, like they'll look plain and boring unless you know what you're doing.
True.
Tracking. All right, let's keep going here. We got Sachin Lati's beautiful photos of mountains as he was going over. Any thoughts on this one, Pat?
No, it's great. It's a cool, fun shot. I love aerial shots. I love the outside when you look out the window of the aircraft and I can get lost in a photo like that. I can also get lost in the actual event of this. It's a fun shot. It's a great travel shot.
I really dig the framing of the window in my mind. I really dig that. Sean, what do you got?
No, I don't have too much to add other than it requires a bunch of post-processing to really please my eye, but I appreciate the creativity, that's for sure.
All right, let's keep moving on here. We got Sam Martell's beautiful photo. Steve Piercy. It's another great shot of
the tree on the left was killing me.
Really? That was weird. Sorry, my whole browser just shut down for a second. I'm glad we're still going.
We can still hear you.
Okay, good. So yeah, the tree on the left definitely throws it a little bit. And then any other thoughts, Pat?
The one on the right. I mean, there's things that I would do post-processing, like to the sky, to the clouds, to the trees, to the water, to the background, to the canoe, to the cropping. There's just a bunch of things that I would do, a lot of things. But this photo has all the potential to be a great photo. It's not a throwaway photo. It deserves to be in the competition. And quite frankly, with some post-processing, I feel it could have made it into the top 5 to some degree. But, post-processing.
I agree 100%. Oh, there we go. I just needed to get my photos back here. Okay, moving. Oh, man, my thing is having troubles right now. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to see if I can reset this.
We're winning.
It's
still here, so that's a good thing.
My whole systems are shutting down on the other side here. I think I lost my Instagram. Anyway, carrying on. We're going to keep moving. I lost the Instagram feed, so that is out. Other than that, let's jump into the top 5 because I think I can't. My system is not having a great time.
Effective enemy fire in your hand. Like, well, let's move right through the objective.
I am trying my best. Here we go. So the top 5 as it sits. Dave Curvin came in at 5th place with this beautiful photo. 33 overall.
Good job, Dave.
Out of the top 5, a beautiful shot. Next up,
I just want to say that this isn't a competition in the sense of you're trying to crush all people on the planet, but it is a competition. And so you got 5th, which is, I feel, a great result based on how many great photos are in this competition this month. However, this is the most important thing to me. Whether you place 5th or 1st, Dave, is less important than this is a big improvement over last month's. To me, I feel like it's a more focused effort to really crack it out of the park. At least that's what I'm getting anyway. So Dave, if you want to hit me either offline or in comments, I'm curious as to whether you doubled down on getting a freaking killer photo this month as compared to last month.
A couple rad ones, not just the one too.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Both of them were just great. Dan C jumped in here a second ago and said, I've only got one eye. Does that make me a 20 mil? Okay, so that's 5th place. 4th place goes to Sam Martell right here with this guy. Beautiful shot. Comes out as a 35 with an advantage overall.
It's not a warlock advantage. What advantages are you measuring this in chance, by the way? D&D,
I'm measuring this is in roundings of decimals. So if we're above 0.5 or up is good.
Okay.
It gives me a positive advantage. And then there's also a disadvantage. So if I say 9 and Pat says 9 and you say 8, then I give it a 9 with a disadvantage.
Mismatched dice. Got it.
Yeah, mismatched dice. Exactly. 100%. Let's get into it. In 3rd place, and it's going to be taking 2 bags of coffee from Sean, we have Jürgen Beck.
Great.
36.
Do you know where he lives? Hope it's in BC, about 100 kilometers.
Chilliwack.
Hopefully,
pretty sure Chilliwack.
Yeah, exactly. He's
not so bad. In BC, that's good. Good. Fantastic.
Beautiful shot, though. I really liked it. Came out with 36 and a disadvantage, so that's why he got 3rd place. 2nd place, Meg Johnson coming in here with a beautiful shot, 36 and 2 advantages overall. So beautiful shot. 2nd place, you're going to be getting the Blackbird Industries prize pack, which is a t-shirt and some awesome stickers.
Is it the Endless Summer t-shirt?
It is the Endless Summer t-shirt. Yeah.
Sick. Yeah. Cool.
And the number one for the day, Christian Wolowodnik, comes in 36 with 3 advantages across the board. Beautiful shot. And he's going to take the direct action prize pack that he's going to be sending out from out east. Great shot. And yeah, like I said, Christian and I worked together back in the day at 1CR, and I'm stoked for him because it's a beautiful shot.
Hey, listen, Chance, since you know him well enough, I've wanted to do this for the last 2 competitions. I mentioned it to you. It's just that we're so freaking busy. We just didn't get it all squared away. I'd like to do a spotlight on the winner every month. Whoever wins, I'd like to get their photo up on, certainly I'll put it up on my IG page. We definitely have to get it up on the collective. And if they could just like either use their photo that wins or a headshot of themselves with a little bit of a background piece on them, like, I think it's encouraging whether they're a 4-decade-long photographer or just picked up a photographer for the first time, but put out that kind of a photo. There's a backstory that I want to know. I want to know hows, the whys, the wherefores of this photo, not just that moment, but the individual. Like, what does it take to get to that sort of result? Is it just a ferocious focus on technical skills, or is it a ferocious focus on soulful feelings? I'd love to know more about the shooters that are winning that will improve my game. So if we could have like a little kind of backstory to the man, that'd be great.
Should we? I'll hit them up. Should we do all 3? Do you think
I think we should do all 3.
And I'll do a little whatever the thing is called on Instagram with a bunch of the photos. Do the roulette. I'll do the winning photo. Carousel. Thank you. We'll do the winning photo with the photographer, second place with the photographer, third place with the photographer.
Yeah,
if they're up to show their face.
We should.
I will reach out to them, make sure we get that sorted out. But Christian, yeah, good work. This is an awesome photo. Taking first place of the 3rd veteran photo contest. I am stoked for next month. Do we have any?
And like well, I was gonna say, like, this month was great. A, the number of submissions. B, the quality of work. To see these 2 images as the top 2, like they're deserving of that top 2. They're both wow factor shots. Like, they're both fine art. Like, blow them up, put them onto a big wall. Cool shots. Like, super well done. Super well done to everyone that put in their submissions. I'm so stoked that this is growing, and I hope that we can continue this flow. And personally, like, you guys have like literally inspired me. I've been, I haven't taken my camera out for probably a couple weeks now, maybe a little over a week. And I'm going to make sure I have my camera today and taking shots for sure.
I dig it. Sean, any final thoughts on anything that we've talked about so far, or any of the photos at all?
2. One is, my first thought is this: that winner is good enough that I would hang it on my wall. That's the sign of a good photo for me. I mean, there's many signs of a good photo, but if I'm willing to hang it on my own house's wall, then it's a good photo. Not that I'm insisting that you send me a archival copy of that print, but you could. The second thing is, next month, what are we doing for photos?
This is the real key. I think we took we have a list. We have a bunch of requests from the collective, and we can figure that out right off the bat, or we could just
well, if we don't have an answer right now, that's okay. I don't want to go into a parliament session where we where we waste the entire nation's time. But yeah, if you've got a quick thought, Chance, if you know one right now that you kind of had loosely assigned to the month of November.
I really wanted to do a wildlife one right off the bat, because it is hunting season coming up right away, and my first thought is people are going to be out taking photos of wildlife, and I mean,
well, hunters
wildlife, but
yeah,
I mean,
I don't think that's a great one, to be honest. Not at all, because out of the 17 entries, there might only be 2 hunters. That's certainly true. It's precluding a bunch of people for the hunting aspect.
You just have to turn your Ring camera on, you'll capture a bear.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, you go out to look for bears. They're going to capture a landscape. I mean, right there from Maggie.
So if we're not going with hunting or like with wildlife, and again, I'm not sure that's a great one. Certainly for people who live in cities, you're going to capture a rat or a cat or a dog.
Lots of rabbits.
Yeah, rabbits for sure. Also squirrels. So if it's not that, then we've got to come up with something here pretty quickly, like by today, so that we can put the word out to the troops.
We will figure it out. Once we shut this one down, we can sit in the green room. We have a list of things we can go through, and that way we don't waste everybody's time while we're jibber jabbering about it. I don't have any thoughts other than I want to say thank you to everybody that put their photos in. Thank you to all the people watching and commenting. This has just been awesome. Dan C jumped in here and said, I just dusted off the 10-year-old Canon Rebel. Play safe, gentlemen. There you go. We are getting it. So get out there, take some photos, and then continue to learn, build, and grow. See y'all next week. Chimo. Thanks everybody for watching and being part of the collective. If this has sparked any thoughts or resonated with you, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us grow and keeps the conversation going. We'll see y'all next time.